Approximately 75% of persons over the age of 50 eat unhealthily, and most often this is not done on purpose. Instead, they fail to consider how many of the foods they've consumed over their lifetimes have harmed their bodies. And people in their 20s used to consume these items, and everything was going well. But at the age of 50, our bodies undergo such changes that we must consider the meals we are consuming, how they affect our bodies, if at all, considering that our nutrition has a direct impact on our health and well-being. Watch this video all the way through to learn about the foods that we need to cut out of our diet. It will be both fascinating and helpful. Let's begin. By the way, don't forget to click the bell and subscribe to our channel. Keep an eye out for my latest videos. Refined sugar is the item that needs to be cut out first and foremost. According to number 1, you need to make a change if you're accustomed to adding 3 teaspoons of sugar to your coffee or tea. You should consider it if you find it difficult to envision your life without cakes, delicious pastries, or chocolate bars. The majority of nutritionists today will answer refined sugar if you ask them which food is the most detrimental to humans, but that is not the issue at hand. Sugar has a long range of negative effects beyond just making you gain weight, though that is obviously a terrible thing as well. The primary issue is that sugar is generally an inflammatory food. Sugar is the very substance that will contribute to the formation of chronic disease and premature aging, since it causes permanent, persistent microinflammation, which causes the aging process and the production of chronic diseases. People who consume sugar tend to appear older than their actual age, and this effect is not just visible on the outside in the form of wrinkles. They also have an impact on internal functions. The body's tissues and organs age and get sick, and minimizing it is crucial, of course, as I previously indicated with other confectionery items like cakes and chocolates. Not just sugar, but all things containing sugar should be avoided. According to statistics, heart attacks and strokes, 2 types of cardiovascular mishaps, account for approximately 50% of deaths worldwide. It was once believed that cholesterol was the primary nutrient in our diets that caused them. But these days, cholesterol has taken a back seat, and experts believe that sugar poses the most hazard because of the significant role it plays in atherosclerosis. The development of blood clots and lipid plaques. Is it even feasible and wise to cut sugar out of our diets? This is a fair question to address here. This is practically impossible because sugar is typically added to everything we purchase at the supermarket. Even if you purchase canned beans, they still contain sugar. There is no running away from it or hiding from it. 1 ounce, or 30 grams per day, is the amount of sugar that scientists consider to be relatively safe, theoretically, can be consumed without seriously harming our bodies. It would be fantastic if you could reduce it to 0. I have to admit, though, that quitting sugar entirely is a challenge. Therefore, up to 1 ounce is already a good amount, and in this case, we must consider that. Naturally, hidden sugar is present practically everywhere, as we can see and comprehend if we read the label's contents. Number 2, any dish with a high salt content should be considered next. Salt encourages the loss of calcium from our bodies, which can lead to osteoporosis. Salt consumption in excess can lead to kidney illness, but more importantly, it can lead to cardiovascular disease. After all, how can we survive without salt? Without it, the body cannot survive, one could ponder. Yes, that's accurate. It's true that salt is necessary for our bodies, but the amount we consume also matters. The world is poisonous. Depending on the dosage, anything can be cured. The same is true of salt. So it stands to reason that nothing positive will result from cutting off the salt from our diet, similar to how we would have overindulged in it. Therefore, where is the ideal middle ground? This is a subject that scientists have pondered, and the answer is now available. 2 to 5 grams of salt should be consumed each day. That equates to around 0.1 ounces. This is the recommended dose that will provide your body with the right amount of electrolytes. Everything will be all right because it will restore the water's natural salt balance. But the issue is that the average modern guy consumes significantly more salt per day than 5 grams. The average person in the modern world consumes 10 to 15 grams of sugar daily, and that's where the difficulties start. Again, when you're young, nothing bothers you, but as you age, it starts to annoy you and make you sick. So, if you have salt on the table and use it to season every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what should you do with it? Next, take the salt from the table, This indicates that you are oversalting your food and consuming an excessive amount of sodium. Second, when adding salt to any recipe, use a moderate amount, not a lot. Third, any foods with excessive salt content should be avoided, of course. For instance, this would apply to all sausage products, a wide variety of sausages, frankfurters, and so forth. If we eat a few slices of sausage, we can already easily consume more sodium than we need each day. Number 3. Thirds flour is the next item. Of course, removing flour from our diet would be going too far. That's fantastic if you're prepared for such a challenge. If you're not, it makes sense. Then all you have to do is set limits. Don't overindulge in pastries, muffins, buns, and other similar foods, but only within normal limits. Although pasta is an option, yeast-free bread is advised, and once more, the glycemic index is the key. The glycemic index is a coefficient that indicates how quickly blood sugar levels rise after consuming a specific food or beverage. Roughly speaking, the higher the index, the more hazardous the food or beverage is. The list of adverse effects of the product includes premature aging, permanent microinflammation, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Because of this, broccoli has a low glycemic index compared to sugar's high one. All flour-based items have a high glycemic index that is comparable to sugar. These carbs are very simple to absorb because the modern confectionery sector is already heavily invested in trans fats. Confectionery items like muffins often contain a substantial amount of them in addition to flour and, of course, a lot of sugar. It was once believed that salt was the cause of death. Nutritionists now hold that salt, sugar, stress, and flour all have a role in these extremely white deaths, and it is these 3 things that have provided the solution. By the way, let us know in the comments which of these things you consume or even which ones you have cut out of your diet and found to be healthier. It will be interesting to hear your ideas. In the meantime, I urge you to see our other film, in which I discuss the best foods to include in your diet after the age of 50. To give you a fuller understanding of what I've been discussing, this video is a fantastic supplement. The video link has just appeared on your screen. In addition, I secured the link in the first comment and left it in the description. Check it out without a doubt. Please click the like button and subscribe to our channel if you liked this video. I'll see you in the video on wholesome foods for people over 50.